What is up, everyone? Good afternoon on this wonderful Tuesday. I am early. And Guapo is first in the chat on Twitch. Welcome, Guapo. Thanks, brother. Appreciate the support. Okay, folks. Yes, I have an early stream today. A little unscheduled, but when the den calls, I answer. And Hollow Point, like always, like most days, Hollow pinged me on Discord with a lovely message. It was actually more lovely today than he's done in the past, so I do appreciate that, Hollow. He just asked very kindly, early stream, question mark. There was like, I don't know, 8 question marks. But I'm like, fine, I'll get on early today because tomorrow I do have a late day. I'll remind folks throughout the stream, I have a late day tomorrow. I have an appointment with the Lioness in the morning, and then I do have a job interview. You know, I've been pretty forthright with y'all. I'm in between corporate roles right now, and while I want the content and the stream to kick off, obviously not making money on the stream yet. Like, my goal is to build the community first, and if I can start making money, fantastic. Community first, everything else worries later, but I still have bills to pay. And so I'm still looking at corporate roles. So I have an interview tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. So that will cause me to be a little bit late tomorrow, but I'll throw a message on Twitter and then remind folks as we go on the stream. So I figured, okay, I'll go on a little early today since Hollow called out. And so here early, so I appreciate y'all if you're stepping in. I had a crazy workout today. I am super tired. And so I'm probably about a half hour later than I would have liked to be. But yeah, I've been grinding my workouts pretty hard. It's in prep to the point where I can actually get subs, because I'm going to put a challenge for myself out there and create like a Tarkov inspired CrossFit workout. So I've been kind of super motivated to make sure my workouts are on point, because I don't want to look like a fool if I'm going to do a Tarkov style workout. That's in the future. Anyway, we are update. We're at 35 followers on Twitch. Dang, like, folks, I appreciate you all so much. We're grinding. We're moving up. You know, I have to get to 50, and then I have to average 3 viewers per stream to try and affiliate. So again, my goal is not the money aspect. My goal is community first, and if the money comes later, then fantastic. Ultimately, it's the community first. So I appreciate folks that have subscribed and followed on Twitch. We're at 313 on YouTube as well, so we're grinding upward, folks. It's been awesome. And so I'm here every single day, even if I'm a little bit late, a little bit early, every day until May. I have a couple of days off. I need to go to a wedding. So unless anything changes in the future, I'm here with you all. So I appreciate everybody. I apologized last night. So I have no idea what's going on with OBS. You know, I've chatted with y'all. Like, look, I am closer to 50 than I am 40. Like, I'm 2.5 years shy of 50, folks. I know I don't look it. I look so young. Oh, what do we got? Oh my gosh, that sound is like new for me. Every time I hear that sound, I freak out. Let's go, Fear the Monster on YouTube with the subscribe. Hey, Fear, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. It really, really means a lot. The youngest man alive. But yeah, I am closer to 50 than I am 40. And having to figure out, I do like technology. So like, I've built my gaming computer, which is on the left side. I built this from scratch. I built my streaming computer from scratch. I like dealing with hardware. I like dealing with technology. I like solving problems. What I don't like is like OBS. I'm getting decent at OBS. Like, I have scene changes. I have all kinds of stuff. I know how to stream multiple platforms. I'm getting there. I had some great input from Twitch follower last week, Girthquakes, you know, gave me a recommendation about adjusting my bitrate on OBS, went in there, changed that, so it's great. So last night, the kind of stuff I don't like is when OBS just decides to crash at the end of my stream. I can't even log out, I can't even talk to folks. Like, literally, that's what happened last night. So I apologize if you all were online. It was a tail end of my stream, and I lost all my frames in OBS, and I still don't know why. There's no update in OBS. I have no idea what happened. And now we're great. It's running perfectly. It's even working on YouTube. So My apologies last night if you did step, or if you were here and I had to drop because I literally couldn't even say goodbye. So my apologies there, folks. So, yeah, I think that's something I have to deal with. And what I don't want to do, and I think OBS is awesome. Like, there's so many integrations to OBS, Guapo. Like, I don't want to have to change from it. You know, I know there's other options out there, like Streamlabs has its own. But I've invested so much time in creating the scenes for scene changes. All the sources work really well. Like, literally, I could be down almost for like probably a full day if I had to figure out how to change systems, especially because I stream afternoon into the evening. And I really don't want to do that. So I'm kind of, to your point about OBS freaking out, like, I'm gonna accept it as long as like it's not like every single day thing where OBS is just dropping. So I gotta tinker with it. I gotta play with it. So I do have one public service announcement, and I might repeat it during the stream if folks come in and were curious about last night. So last night, as I was toward the tail end of my stream, we had neighbors to my left, facing the camera to the left. There's some teenage girls there, and during my stream, they had come over and my wife was chatting with them. And we have security cameras all around our house. That's just our thing. We're former law enforcement. I'm in corporate security. You know, I work a lot on security systems, security maintenance. So, you know, we have our own security technology. So as I was streaming, there was the teenage girls at the front door to the right. There's my dogs, folks, making an appearance. They were chatting with my wife, and like, our security camera's just going off. And so I'm like, there's something going on. So I stepped out real quick, and my wife's like, we all good? I was like Girl Scout cookies? I'm kind of joking. And she's like, no, I'm doing my job. I'm like, oh, okay, damn it. Okay, that's code. We're both former law enforcement. She's been an investigator for much more longer than I have. So I'm like, okay, this is actually kind of serious. And so I'm kind of talking about a serious topic, and you see my two dogs, Haven and Ruger, there playing, which is great guest appearance. But anyway, there was apparently a peeping Tom during the day, in the early afternoon yesterday, and the teenage girl had seen a dude at her window, and they freaked out. They didn't know what to do. It was a teenage girl and her brother next door. Parents weren't home. They didn't know what to do. Mom was like at work, so they're texting mom. So 40 minutes go by the time mom calls. She's like, dude, call the freaking police. Like, what are you doing? And so in law enforcement, folks, like 40 minutes is a long time, especially for dealing with the freaking peeping Tom out a window. Like 40 minutes.
The girl's 11.
Dude's bounced. Yeah, and the girl that saw the peeping Tom was like 11 years old. I'm like, wait, what? And I found this out at the tail end of my stream. My wife comes in like, hey, I just got to give you some quick information. Right when OBS was crashing. So I was like, I was floored that the dude's right here across from my window. Like, the houses aren't super close, but like it's 15, 20 yards away. And like, the dude was that close. And I had been working out yesterday in the garage. And apparently this happened an hour after I worked out. So my wife told me this. I was freaking livid yesterday, folks. Look, I'm former law enforcement. The one thing in law enforcement that got me, I have a thick skin. I worked in San Jose, California, very busy city. I think it was one of the top 3 biggest cities in California at the time. I think we had like one of the top 5 police departments. LA is just huge. And then I think maybe San Francisco was a little bit bigger, but then it was like San Jose. It was us. Dude, and seriously, but like, the one thing that got me in law enforcement, and I've seen a lot, folks, and I'm not going to dive into the craziness of that bad type of criminality, but I've seen stuff, I've responded to stuff, and the one thing that always freaking got me and just would piss me off is anything involving kids. Anything involving kids. And those are the one calls I was like, I hope I can control myself. So when my wife told me this, I was freaking pissed last night. I kept it together on stream, but I'm like, dude. So luckily my wife was like, look, she's talking to teenage girls. Unfortunately, our cameras didn't pick the dude up. So she's like, hey, look, if your parents aren't home, like we are home like 99.9% of the time. Like obviously I work from home. I also have a consulting company. So every now and then I might take a call here and there, but I am from home. My wife works from home. We have a consulting business. So she's like, here's our numbers. Like if you ever wonder what you should do and your parents aren't responding, like call us. Like seriously, folks, I would have been out there, my wife and I would have been out there and freaking dealt with that and it would have been over. But I was so freaking angry. So even today, I did a workout today. I was on watch, man. Like I worked out in the gym and I have a garage gym. And I was out there like an extra half hour after my workout, just cooling off. And I'm like, I sat on the curb between like their house and our house because it's like right here. And I was just watching the freaking street, man. And then before my stream right now, because it happened about 11:30 yesterday p.m., I had just finished my workouts. I was in the house. I was taking a shower. My wife was working. Even after my stream, before I got on, I popped out in the street and I was just sitting on the curb. I'm like, I'm just looking because like this is the law enforcement side, right? Like I hope I see the guy. I hope. And again, I'm not talking macho. I'm not talking like, no, I will make sure this guy gets caught and learns the lesson. This is A, that's a bad activity, first of all. B, don't come anywhere near my freaking neighborhood. So anyway, like that happened last night. So I was freaking angry at the end of my stream. And then of course things cut off. So I'm like, damn it. So my public service announcement today, right? And again, I'm touching on my law enforcement background, 10 years there. I spent 15 years in corporate security, and in corporate security, my job is protecting employees. I've done executive protection. I literally worked with Tim Cook at Apple for a year and a half. I built his executive protection program. Like protecting people is just something that's ingrained in my blood, and I really, really enjoy it. So the public service announcement today, especially if you have teenage kids, especially if you have like teenage daughters, is, teach them awareness. Teach them what to do in a crisis. These kids were like afraid to call 911. And I get it. Law enforcement, just like any industry, medical, servers, baristas, everybody kind of gets a little bit of a bad rap. But for kids, especially when parents aren't home, like my ask is like, teach your kids, like it's okay if you're afraid and we're not there and you're scared, even if you're not sure. You did see a dude at your window, and she straight up saw him. Like this dude was like wearing a black ski mask at the window, like peeping through her freaking window. Like teach them it's okay to freaking call 911, even if it's unnecessary. But if that person and your kids are scared enough to go, I don't know what to do, freaking get help. Like call for help. Like it's okay. I would rather, and I can speak from law enforcement experience, especially when it's a teenager, especially when it's like a teenage girl, I would rather, quote unquote, waste my time in law enforcement responding to a potential peeping Tom through a window. I'd rather do that for a teenage girl, a child, than respond to any other call out there. Like, so just teach your kids, teach them some basic, I'm hesitant to use the word, but I'll use it. Basic survival skills. Call 911. Get to know maybe some of your neighbors. Like now, luckily our neighbor kids know that we're here. They've seen me work out in the garage, so they know I'm here. So like, just teach your kids some semblance of how they can protect themselves. When we raised our kids, we taught our kids the Cooper Color Code of Awareness. It's like literally we taught them condition yellow, condition orange, condition white. Like we taught them the color code of awareness. Like why not? Like you can talk to your kids about awareness, and we use Cooper Color Code of Awareness because that was something law enforcement used a lot, and we knew it really well. Like literally our 9-year-old knew condition yellow. And our kids understood, like if we were kind of walking somewhere, especially if we were law enforcement at the time, if we're like just real quick, we're like, hey, do condition yellow, just stay back a little bit. They were like, they just knew. Like, okay, well, mom and dad see something. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna be this bratty kid right now. I'm actually gonna pay attention to what's going on around me. So just teach them basic responsibilities. We also taught, my wife does a really good job teaching our kids. We also talk to our kids about like X's and O's game, right? And it seems silly, but like, we all know society today, like kids are glued to that phone. And the age that kids are getting their phone gets younger and younger. And that's okay. That's just society that's basically learning how to live in the world that we're given now. I didn't have a freaking cell phone when I was a kid. I knew how to use a payphone. That was what I did, right? But we know kids are glued to the cell phone. So when our kids got cell phones, we taught them X's and O's game. Like, look, we know, like, the one rule we had is if we text you, we're paying for that phone. If we text you or we call, there better be if we call, you better pick up. And if you don't pick up, there better be a huge excuse reason why. If we text you, especially as teenagers, we're paying for that bill, you better be texting back. Like, I don't care who you're with, I don't care what you're doing, but if I'm texting you and I need to get a hold of you, you better respond, right? So we had those kind of rules. But the other thing we taught them, like, look, you get glued to that phone, you get glued to that video, you're conditioned white. You lose all aspect of your surroundings. So we would teach our kids, like, look, if you're gonna look at your phone, look at your phone. But we taught them X's and O's game, right? So what we did with that is like, look, if you're in an open area, if you're in a mall, you're a movie theater, take a look around you. There's all kinds of activities. And if you see something that just looks weird, that's an X. Like, you spotted something, great, like, you're aware. But if you also realize all of a sudden, like, maybe they're shopping and they're looking around, next thing you know, they look down and someone walks behind them or past them and they didn't realize it. They're like, what the heck? Well, no, 3 O's is bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like simple things like that, tips and tricks. You'd be surprised at just, we'd have even these conversations just in a car driving somewhere, like we're going to drop them off. Like, okay, hey, tell me about the X and O game. What do you think if you're going to the movies, what do you think you should look out for? Or if you see something, especially our teenage boys, like if you see something like, in a movie theater, and let's say it's an angry customer, all of a sudden they're raising their voice and it looks like something might happen. What do you think you should do? And like our teenage boys are, well, I would, no. Like, time out. You're not gonna do any of that crap. You're not gonna be macho. You're not gonna step in. What do you think you should actually do? Well, I probably should just like tell my friends, hey, dude, like, if maybe we go in the movie theater, or maybe we just move away from that area. Like, exactly. Like, just be smart. Like, there's nothing about macho, but just, basic safety principles. So, sorry, Ruger wants to play fetch. So that's my public service announcement. Like, I try not to get on the high horse. But it really upset us. Like, last night I got off stream, I couldn't even eat for like half hour. I was so angry because I'm like, had, better knowledge of how to respond to that situation, but then at the same time, like, damn, I wish we were better neighbors. Like, I wish we had introduced ourselves earlier when we moved in, like, hey, here's who we are, blah, 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 and just chatting, like, hey, we're home all the time, if you ever need anything, come on by, borrow a cup of sugar, like, I don't know, but like, man, I'm like kicking myself going, dude, I wish they would, because even if they waited 40 minutes for their mom to respond, been like, hey, come over here and chill on the sofa, let's call the cops, been like, hey, come over here and chill on the sofa, let's call the cops. But come here, we'll keep you safe, call the cops, we'll report it to them. But just something like that where they